The necessity of economics. Now we shall discuss the necessity of economics. There are several reasons for the necessity of the study of economics. A few of these can be mentioned in brief. We will discuss them in brief. A healthy democracy requires civic consensus of the people. A tax-paying citizen would surely want to know how the government collects revenue. No? It spends the collected revenue, how it spends, what rules govern the process of expenditure, is the revenue being spent judicially, and so on. A social builder or reformer would want to find out the reasons for widespread and check poverty. When doing that, he will be able to understand that many of the reasons for this problem are economic in nature. A conscious customers, we would like to know the reasons for the rise in prices of essential commodities. What is globalization? What are its merits and demerits? What is economic development? What is environmental economics? Important issues such as these are part of the subject matter of economics. All these are studied in economics. Understood or not? As a good customer, we should know why price rising, why essential commodities price is being risen. Then tax, how does government collect tax from us? What is globalization? And all these are included in economics. Okay, now definition of economics means what is economics. Several economists have given different definitions of economics. Notable among these are Adam Smith, Alfred Marshall, Lionel Robbins, Samuelson, and Northus. They are known as famous economists. Adam Smith has defined economics in his own way. He was considered as the father of economics. Adam Smith is considered as the father of economics. In his famous book, An Inquiry into the Nature and Cause of the Wealth of Nation, published in 1776, he defined economics as the science of wealth. Adam Smith defined economics as the science of wealth. This definition is considered as a wealth-based definition. Smith's definition was criticized by later social scientists like Carlyle and Ruskin as being the gospel of the mammon. They criticize wealth can never be the main aim of human life. They said that wealth can never be the main aim of human life. It is only a means of achieving this. Too much emphasis on wealth would turn economics into a dismal science, they said. Then Alfred Marshall's definition of economics is different. Cambridge economist. He belonged to Cambridge economist. Alfred Marshall, in his book Principle of Economics, published in 1890, put forward a definition of economics of the principle of welfare. According to him, economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. According to Alfred Marshall, economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of the material requisites of well-being. Thus, it is on one side a study of wealth and on the other side, and more important side, a part of the study of man. Okay, Marshall's definition is improvement on Smith's definition. However, Marshall's definition did not earn the distinction of being the acceptable definition of economics. This is because Marshall only mentioned about the welfare derived from material goods. Welfare derived from non-material services such as those of a teacher or a doctor were not mentioned by him. Okay. Moreover, all goods may not bring about welfare of the people. All goods may not bring welfare. For example, use of alcohol, drugs, cigarette do not lead to the increase in the welfare of man. These are harmful for man. But economics deal with the study of production, consumption, and distribution of such products. Even economics deals with all these. Robbins' definition is again different. He is an economist also, and according to him, he wrote a book. The name of that book was An Essay on the Nature and Significance of Economic Science. It was published in 1932. Put forward the most acceptable definition of economics. According to him, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and square means which have alternative usage. Okay, according to him, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and square means which have alternative uses. This definition highlights three main points. His definition highlights three main points. Human wants are unlimited. We know that. Resources to satisfy human wants are limited, but the resources are limited. Scarce resources have alternative usage. These 3 points give rise to economic problem or problem of choice. The problem of deciding which want among the unlimited want is to be fulfilled by using the scarce resource with alternative usage is called economic problem or problem of choice. Robbins' definition is also called the definition of scarcity. Robbins' definition is also not above criticism. Alfred Robbins was also criticized. According to the critics, the problem of attainment present economic betterment is more important than the problem of choice. Okay, but Robin is silent on this point. Again, Samuelson and Northus have combined the concept of scarcity with the efficiency. Okay, and put forward a definition of economics. According to them, accepting the reality of existence of scarcity, the efficient use of resource by the society to produce valuable commodities form the subject matter of economics. The productive use of scarce resource is the subject matter of economics. Okay, now like these economists have defined economics in different ways. Okay, and they were criticized by one another also. Even each of these definitions are very important to be understood. We should understand their definition with a very careful attention, that means very careful way, so that we will understand each definition